scheme, an alleged 15-year tax fraud scheme. And even though we know something was coming, the details aren't credible. Apartments, cars, private school tuition, all off the books.
Yeah, that's right. And listen, there's still a lot of open questions, including about what happened to the other parts of the investigation we've been hearing about. But this particular tax fraud scheme is much stronger than I had anticipated, given the reporting out of the last couple of weeks. It's a serious offense. 15 years this has been going on. This is not just about Alan Weisselberg and his son themselves kind of orchestrating this scheme and Alan Weisselberg making it happen. This is a pattern and practice of the Trump Organization for numerous executives and employees over a decade and a half. So this is really serious stuff, much more expansive than I would have expected given what folks have been saying over the last few days. And it's real trouble for Trump and his organization.
The indictment, Jennifer, it repeatedly mentions other employees who also got benefits from the Trump Organization, but Weisselberg was the only one charged. Do you think this is only going to get bigger?
I think that's right. I still don't know what's going to happen, as I said, with kind of the other tentacles of the investigation as far as manipulating asset values for bank fraud and tax fraud and that side of things, the hush money payments, et cetera. But as far as this particular scheme is concerned, the indictment was very careful to not only talk about Weisselberg and his son, but to make clear that other people benefited and other people were involved on the Trump Organization side as far as making this scheme happen. So I fully expect that more people will be charged in this particular scheme in the weeks to come.
Michael, if Weisselberg was being paid off the books, what are the chances others, like the Trump family, were too?
Well, I think the chances are very good. In fact, the first person I'd imagine they're looking at is Ivanka Trump, because it was revealed in the press a couple of years ago that she was paid in a way that was quite similar to the off-the-books payments that went to Alan Weisselberg. This involved paying her contractors' fees. In Weisselberg's case, the prosecutors noted that he used that status of self-employed that he got by taking these fees as a consultant to engage in retirement programs that he would otherwise have been ineligible for. So he got tax-free retirement investments. And I think in Ivanka's case, she too accepted sort of a double dipping scheme where she was paid on a certain project as both a Trump executive and a consultant. So this is, I think, going to have much bigger dimensions than we're aware of right now. And I think it may even wind up pitting the various Trump children against each other, and we may see them vying for their father's protection in one way or another.
Well, Jennifer, you know how this works, but what does this all mean for Donald Trump? If prosecutors had something on him, would they have already put it out there?
Not necessarily, but what they need on Donald Trump is the knowledge, the intent. They need to prove not only that he signed checks that went to like Alan Weisselberg's grandson's private school, even if he knew that this benefit was going to someone, he had to know that they were also not paying the taxes on it. They had to know that there was something wrong that was being done with it. So that's the piece that we don't know that they have now, and it's likely to require some sort of cooperating witness because he doesn't email, so it's unlikely those kinds of communications will be found in writing in the documents they've obtained from the Trump Organization. They are likely going to need a live witness who can say, of course he knew about the scheme, we discussed it on these various dates and at these various times, etc. So if that's Alan Weisselberg, that would be probably the easiest person. Obviously a lot of pressure is being brought to bear on him, but he hasn't flipped so far. It could be someone else if there's someone else with that intimate knowledge. And if Michael's right and other people in the Trump orbit, the close orbit, get charged, it'll be interesting to see whether someone else comes to the table and wants to cooperate against Donald Trump.
Michael, there's another Michael who knows how this all works as well. He's a former attorney for Donald Trump, and that's Michael Cohen. This is what he said about the Trump Organization today.
Every single thing, whether it was the acquisition of paper clips, light bulbs, your furniture, mattresses, you name it, right? Alan Weisselberg's kids' payments, rents, everything would have a Donald signature on it or his initial.
So according to the indictment, Trump signed the checks, but it seems like Weisselberg was the one taking all the risk. Is that just the way Trump operates?
Well, it is the way that he operates, but I think one of the things that also indicates that Donald Trump may have been at the heart of this is that it was such penny ante stuff. You know, Donald Trump was notoriously cheap, so the idea that he would want to keep a set of books to make sure that Alan Weisselberg's compensation scheme didn't exceed what he expected Weisselberg to get paid in total is very consistent with the personality of this man. He's very controlling, but he's also very cheap, and he doesn't want to pay a penny more than he has to for anything.
Michael, Jennifer, thank you. One of you should go check your car because an alarm was going off somewhere. Make sure it was okay. I appreciate it.